that little bit here as well, about the ceremonial mound that they had made. So most of the archaeology that they have of the Navan Centre is sort of talking in around about 100 BC. So most of what we know about the site from an archaeological point of view would be from around that era. But of course, the stories go way back, you know, before that.
Aye, gotcha.
Okay, so this is your timeline, and it's good to point out exactly where Old Mhacha comes within the scheme of things. So we say the importance of Old Mhacha, 500 BC on up, and 95 BC is the time of most importance. And it's when this large mound here, when they excavated it, they found that, well, we're not allowed to use the word temple anymore, but a structure had been built underneath. It's 40 metres wide. It was built to burn, and I'll show you the sample of it in a second. So, very important site. It was important to Iron Age people, but we believe that underneath we also have Bronze Age structures as well. But within the area we also have a place called Highland Fort, which is Bronze Age, and it's off in the distance here. And it is a proper fort, because the name Navan Fort is completely wrong. So we believe that Old Mhacha, the M was pronounced to V, it was Evan, got anglicised, known as Navan, and Fort is not what this place is. It is not for defending. We can say that archaeologically speaking, because the outside bank is lower than the inside bank. So this is for keeping something in, not for keeping something out. So it would be an area for ceremonies, for the spiritual ceremonies of the clan, and of Ulster as well. It's important throughout Ulster. Yeah, we have another bump, which up to 6 months ago we called a barrow tomb. Now the archaeologists are saying it isn't a barrow tomb, it may just be a hermitage. But if you wanted to go up and feel the energy of this place, this is where you find it.
Wow.
Personally, if you're meditating, that's got the energy more so than the mind. And then very briefly, we have, you can read these at your leisure. So this shows you the excavation, and the main excavation was 61 to 71. And when they took away the soil, they were expecting to find a tomb. Most of them are throughout Ireland, but what they found instead was something quite unique. They found, they covered the soil, a layer of limestone had been placed, and when they took that away, they could see that the stones had actually been placed in a dwelling, in a structure. We can't even call it a dwelling. So it was 40 metres wide, and it's the largest Iron Age structure ever found in Europe. Round the outside had been a double wall, and round it was kindling. So they believe it was built, it was burnt, and it was buried. Now, our latest archaeologist on the scene thinks it was buried maybe 30, 40 years after the burning, because the limestone showed too much weathering. If it had just been burnt and buried, the limestone would still be, it would look burnt, but it wouldn't look weathered. This stone, this has got a cut mark in it, as you can see, and this was found at Highland Fort. Do you do dicing? So you can stop. you can throw the energy. So this little stone, even though it's just stone, is full of energy. It doesn't mind me. That's the Loghnashade trumpet. 4 of those were found in 1798 in the loch, which would have been the offering book. Every site, important site, has a water associated with it. This is just a copy, and the 4 of them were found with the jumpers, but this is a copy of the only one that's still left. The other one is down in Dublin. The 3 disappeared, and actually one of the reasons this one didn't get stolen was it had damage on the inside in its lifetime before it was put in the water. This post is a copy of the central post from the structure. Very large piece of oak, showed signs of burning, and they were able to date this to 95 BC. Now, back in the Iron Age, and probably beyond that, the Druids had laws about which trees you could take down. Oak was their most sacred tree, so taking a tree this big, you would have given a big offering for. So that is significant in itself. But as I say, our latest archaeologist, Paddy, doesn't like the word temple. It was for Mhacha, but it seems to have been getting the clans of Ulster together, because there were so many thousands of people working on it. The limestone that they analysed appears to have come from different parts of Ulster. It's almost like you brought a little piece of your own land to burn in this, so that brought you together. So it could have been a change in leadership, going not just from one person to another, but maybe from a complete clan change to who was in charge. So have we look? This is the largest goat's horn that is found, and some of the other finds as well that were found. All right.
Caroline, thank you so much.
No problem at all.
Thank you, appreciate that. I reckon there was a bit of the she in her, you know, in that respect. And but he knew she had this incredible ability and that she was different. And from, you know, and whether or not she knew she was from the other world or not, but he knew something was very special about Mhacha. And upon a big feast that was organised here at Eamhain, with King Conor and all the people of the land, King Conor had boasted that his horses were the swiftest in the land, and that no creature or no being could rival the speed of these horses. And maybe it was after a few drinks, perhaps, that breaking his promise with Mhacha, who previously said to him not to mention her abilities to anyone, Cronach had actually boasted that his wife could outrun the horses of King Conor. And again, speaking against the king, speaking out of turn, the king couldn't let this go, and under duress of death, he had ordered this Mhacha to race against the horses. But of course, Mhacha was heavily pregnant at the time, and the soldiers had went and called for Mhacha and brought her to this site here, at the Navan Fort, or Eamhain. And what had happened then was not one man had spoke up to defend Mhacha in her time of need, and King Conor had insisted that she must make this race, and despite being heavily pregnant, even her husband didn't speak up. And I think a lot of this story is about the failure of men to stand up for women, especially, you know, and it was representative. You've got the men of Ulster here, and the race was to start, and so King Conor would have had his chariots and got the horses ready, and they began the race, and of course from there, Mhacha, just as her husband knew, she took off, and even pregnant, she was able to outrun King Conor's horses. and actually make good of the claim. But of course, having to do this under such duress, she had actually, upon winning the race, she had fallen down and fallen into the pains of labour. And from here, she had actually given birth to the twins of Mhacha. And again, this is where the site gets its name. But of course, for putting her through such hardship, she uttered a curse to the men of Ulster.
Aye.
And that was that when they were in their most hour of need, that they would fall upon the pains of childbirth.
Aye.
And this would last for 9 generations. And it would be later in these stories that Cuchulainn, semi-god Cuchulainn, was exempt from this curse, and who would later single-handedly defend Ulster while the men of Ulster were unable to fight. And
because they were all pregnant.
yeah, they're all pregnant in a sense. So,
it's only fair, right?
So don't mess with Mhacha.
That's right.
Don't mess with women. With women.
Exactly. And well, you should learn that lesson, like. That's
And
right.
again, it's like there's a lot of energy at the site, and I think a lot of people come up here and meditate and spend time reflecting on those stories. So this is us looking out towards the south.
Aye.
So it is, and again, so it's a pretty clear day today. So we have a really good view. So again, sort of like in the southeast here, you know, it's hard to make out actually. In the distance, you can sort of see some of the moorns.
Aye.
And just actually over here to the east, we can actually see this is in towards the town centre. And between those trees, you can actually see the spires of the cathedral there.
I see it.
Yeah, you can see them. And again, further down among the trees, you can actually see the second St. Patrick's Cathedral, which is sort of on the opposite height.
So we're just up here outside of Ardwacha. So Armagh. We're up here outside of Armagh. Ardwacha.
Yeah, so we're about a mile and a half outside the town.
Aye. Alright, so now looking north.
And then looking north in this direction. And again, you're sort of looking and you're sort of coming into in the distance, you're going to have Tyrone, and beyond that, you know, and you've got Tyrone and the Sperrins. You know, and it's like, again, it's a beautiful place to come out and stargaze out here. You're a little bit away from some of the light pollution in the town.
Very nice, yeah. And so what do we have toward the west?
And then out here in the west, and then again, so looking out across here, we just see all these hills and drumlins.
Aye.
And again, coming into sort of still parts of Tyrone over here, and then out to the west. I should know what's out there. So we're coming out. So again, even if you've been to Loki, you'll be able to see parts of Monaghan and things out here as well. You know, I should know exactly what more I'm looking at. I can just see rolling hills and for miles.
So now looking back at southeast here, that's the Mound B or A?
So this will be the second mound here. Would just be beyond this tree.
And it's called A or B or what is it?
So this
or
is
just two?
I think it's. I'm trying to remember. I think it's maybe Mound A, Mound B.
Yeah, that's A. So now they're saying that mound is more significant than what they're thinking.
Yeah. So this is going to be the subject of much of the current archaeological research.
Aye.
So they're going to, you know, this is one of the lesser known mounds, and it's good to see that there's going to be a bit of research and a bit of a dig sort of done to sort of try and find a little bit more of the history of this site, and see if we can go deeper and broaden what we already know. You know, but it was great that it's created a lot of excitement within archaeological community. So it should be nice to see what they can find. I'm sure another part of the puzzle will be revealed.
Definitely. Well, let's go over there. Loki, lead the way. So up here on this one, do they think that Mhacha lived up here, or is that just a ceremonial site, or was it a temple or something?
Yeah, so I think Mhacha and her husband would have lived further from this site, but this particular site would have been home to King Conor MacNessa and the Red Branch Knights.
Aye.
So this would have been and the gathering place for that, and it would also be the site that Cuchulainn would have came to visit his uncle.
Aye. Now the hill over, that's about 30 miles, 30 minutes from here, is where Cuchulainn killed the hound, the coup.
That's right,
Aye.
Cullen's Hound, yeah.
So that's the hill over there. So we'll see it when we go that way. Yeah. When we go down there later. And we don't necessarily have to go on top of it.
Yeah, you've got local areas close to here. They've got the King's Stables, which would have believed to have been the stables of the Red Branch Knights.
Aye. Crave Ruin.
Yes, right.
Aye, so under the moon. Under the moon. I'll give you a song.
So these are some of the finds that were found, including the skull of a Barbary ape,
Aye,
which is an interesting discovery.
We saw that in the centre there.
That's right.
So. Okay, so what they're saying about this mound here.
So with this mound, the no less with regards to what was going on, and this is the one where it's going to be exciting that they're going to do more research and actually do and excavate this site. I think it's like, there's been different proposals, whether it was like it was a dwelling, it was a residence, and again, I personally don't know much about this site, so I'm interested to see what they uncover, because they reckon that it'll be of significance, and again, I would just love to have been back in time to have seen all these places.
Aye. I wouldn't mind visiting, but I don't know if I'd want to live there at the time.
Yeah.
Saoirse.
It could have been brutal.
Aye, it was.
And there's thankfully the quarrying stops here. It was the proposal initially was to continue right into this land.
Aye, that would have been awful.
It's close enough, to be honest.
It is. It's too close. I mean, what were they thinking? Just quarrying there, just like.
I know, it was crazy. It's such a beautiful site, and it's a lovely one from the air as well. You get an aerial perspective of it.
Aye. Do you do any drone photography?
No, I've actually never dabbled in drone, but it's something I would like to get into, yeah.
I myself too, Mhacha Foster.
It's very, very cool.
Aye.
So. Another toy to collect.
Aye.
So it'll be interesting to see over the next couple of months what they uncover of more of this site.
Aye, because the last time they did anything here was 1979, according to that thing, so.
Yeah, so it's good that it's sort of, we're going to look at it currently. There's Loki just chilling. Yeah.
It's a good place, just lay down and enjoy the meditation. The energy here is really nice and relaxing right on this mound.
Yeah,
it's better than up there.
Yeah, and they say there's very good energy on this mound here, and a lot of wee classes will come and do meditation and yoga.
Aye.
Come up and do a little bit of music.
Oh wow.
And it's amazing that a lot of people are drawn to this particular site, even though with not being as visually as sumptuous as the one on the bigger, larger mound.
Aye.
But it's amazing people are attracted to here. So it'll be really interesting to see if we can uncover more of the puzzle. Even though we're Loki, she comes and she's just totally relaxed in this wee part. But it was, I really enjoyed coming up here, and it's lovely when you hear someone with a boron or a hand pan and just going across the landscape.
It does, and we've seen that a lot of the sites like this, especially the ones that are more on the terrace, like Glastonbury, for example, on the tour.
Yeah.
They or as they say, the tour, they're Asperla, but that there would be people with their tambourines or a baron,
or
nice. A version of a baron, a baron, and you could see that they were feeling that energy there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't imposing. You didn't feel like we're doing our ritual here. We're going to interfere with your tourism or whatever. But it was really nice to see that.
It's a beautiful way to connect to
It is.
our ancestors, and of course, obviously, music and ceremony were so important to them. And it's good to see that rather than just maybe coming up and walking around the mound or the hills, that we're actually engaging in that way. And and I suppose music is maybe the missing piece of the puzzle. And
it is, yeah. As a matter of fact, when we go to one of the circles, if the wind's right, I might play a few tunes.
Oh,
so
look forward to that.
See how it goes. So, anyway, regular. Let's head on back down then. So Loki's leading the way.
Yeah.